if you're a true Jeep lover, you're going to love this video, but you're also going to hate it. I'll tell you about the major issue with this Jeep Willys Special Edition 41 that looks spectacular. It's spectacular, that's why I tell you that you're going to love it, but it has a big problem, which is good. And I'm going to tell you later, and I really understand that you're going to agree with me, and it's going to stir up a lot of controversy. But well, let's leave it. Let's take it step by step. Let's start talking about what it brings and what makes this edition so special. 41. And then we get into the bread and butter of what I consider was a big mess. The Jeep Willys, with its military roots, is an iconic model rich in history. Data was the workhorse of the United States Army in World War II. And this special color that we see already entering into the things that make this Jeep Willys special, it's the olive green color, which denotes its military ancestry, that historical military representation that the Jeep Willys has. Well, a color that, by the way, this military green that you won't be able to get or you won't be able to adapt. Exactly the same as the standard Jeep Willys, you know, or even a Rubicon, another Wrangler. It's not exclusive to the Jeep Willys. Because of this, because it's the 41 edition and it will be accompanied by some special graphics, which I'm going to show you, but that's not the only special thing. Well, starting off, it has the traditional 7-slot grille, the projection headlight, reading in a circular shape. All of that is very good. I like that fit. And the bumper, obviously high-strength steel bumper, aluminum alloy in combination with other metals, also with that incredible protection. This comes standard for those who buy both the front bumper and the rear bumper. For the one, if you buy what it costs, which I'm going to tell you too, because the price is another chapter apart. If you buy the Jeep Willys, you get all this following the route, more special things that you are only going to find in this Jeep Willys 41 edition. Look at the rims in the same color as the body. Do you have the Jeep Willys symbol here? These simulate, let's say, what was the ring of that iconic historical model 17-inch rim? I repeat, you can't get it in any other type of Wrangler. It's exclusive to this special edition, and it's lined with B.F all-terrain tires. Goodrich, these are 33 inches high, because of course, within that nature of the Jeep Willys, it's for you to do off-roading and have the capacity with a good tire that produces a lot for you. Grab an edge of the embroidery, look at what denotes that aggressiveness for you to take it off-road. All that up to there, perfect. And the graphics of the Jeep Willys 41 are very nice. And I think you're liking it. And if you're also liking it, maybe you're liking the video. So I ask you to give me a like. It doesn't cost you anything. And above all, subscribe to the channel, because that's how YouTube interprets it. That you like the content, and it will continue to show you more of my content. There I have videos of exclusive releases, trips, adventures, accessories, important things, tips. So subscribe so that YouTube understands that it wants to continue showing you my videos, and I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Well, we continue. Let's then see to free these hooks and see what this Jeep Wrangler hides under the hood. All right, Jeep Wrangler, I have some news to share, but I'm not sure if it's good or bad. I'll tell you, and you let me know what you think. This is an engine, it's 2.0 liters, it's a 4-cylinder engine, yes, but it's turbocharged with this engine that you can expect at power level. Well, 375 horsepower, and it gives you 470 pounds per foot of torque. It already has a good torque there. To see how it moves, to see how much force it has. Well, we're going to see that on the road. To see if this engine moves or doesn't move the Jeep Willys 41, we're going to see that. And for everyday driving, well, for many, it may not be the most comfortable. We're talking about big 33-inch all-terrain tires. If noises, vibrations are transmitted to the cabin, it is felt. I hope the audio is doing justice so you can hear it. But it's that experience, isn't it? This Jeep experience itself, for me, is comfortable enough for, let's say, daily traffic. Many other people, this really isn't the vehicle for them. They don't like the visibility of the Jeep itself. Maybe for many it's not the best. The ergonomics may not be the most suitable, but well, that's good. Here I am accelerating and it doesn't completely throw me off. It doesn't like. But what would be the bad news here? It will be the 4-cylinder engine, 2.0, not that power of 375 horses gives it to you. A hybrid, plug-in hybrid combination. That is, if it has an electric component, it has 2 electric motors that work together with this Jeep Willys. Special Edition 41. That is, it's a 4. That's where we start talking about what I consider the bad news, where they messed up. Because pay close attention, it's like they're forcing you to buy an electrified model. A model that, despite being somewhat electric, because it's not 100% electric, but rather somewhat electric. And the electrification is what's called a plug-in hybrid, or plug-in hybrid, which only gives you about 21 miles. I'll put the equivalent in kilometers of autonomy in purely electric driving, although it has its limitations. What's going on with this? I'm almost sure, and you'll tell me in the comments, who is gonna buy a special iconic historical edition of the Jeep Willys? 41, as if evoking that emblematic historical model of the first one, the MB, the 41. He's not going to want it, I think. He's not going to want it. With an electric motorization or with some kind of semi-electric motorization like this, a plug-in hybrid, why didn't they do it? Standard? How many buyers are really going to pay what it costs? And I'll tell you right now, it starts at $62,000 or almost $62,000. We're not talking about the Jeep Wrangler that costs you about $40,000, $45,000 anymore, but we're pushing $20,000 more to start, okay? To start paying the amount that costs you $62,000 in a plug-in hybrid model, they should have made it regular, internal combustion, only gasoline without any type of electrical combination. If they release a Jeep, let's say Stellantis, which is the parent group that encompasses or shelters the Jeep brand, releases a special edition of the Jeep Willys. 41 on regular gasoline. So, with all these graphics, I assure you they sell everything, they put up a waiting list, and the demand would have been impressive. Why? This Jeep appeals to emotions and manipulates the emotional side of Jeep enthusiasts. And by the way, I ask you the direct question, would you buy the Jeep 4xe? I mean, a plug-in hybrid with 2 electric motors. Do you prefer it this way, or would you have preferred a Jeep? Well, Willys Edition 41 Special Edition, like that, evoking from the regular war to gasoline only. Which one would you buy? Let me know. The ideal option for this server is, and we're closing this lid, the ideal option here would be, in my opinion, that they had given you 2 options. The alternative, yes, take it out 4xe, because it's a marketing strategy. If they don't release a special edition, they don't just give it to you in gasoline only, but in a way they push you because they say, wow, I want to have this edition of 41, which is beautiful, but if I don't get it as a plug-in hybrid, they won't sell it to me. For me, that was a mistake. I think they should have given the option of gasoline and the alternative option, plug-in hybrid as well. And there you choose, but not as if you are forced to buy the plug-in hybrid. And being a plug-in hybrid, which may not be the best option for many. Does it give you the advantage of having those 21 miles in purely electric traffic? It means that if you daily commute, as they say here, your daily journey, the distance you travel every day is less than 21 miles. Well, with purely electric driving, it means that you're not going to be consuming practically any gasoline. Now, 21 miles really isn't anything if you drive more, which isn't much in itself. That's why I tell you, you have to live very close. You have to go to school. If work is very close to you, then it may be convenient for you. If you're buying it because it's a plug-in hybrid, keep in mind it only has a 21-mile range. And when you press the button here, for purely electric driving and the vehicle is not charged, because obviously for the electric function to be activated, it has to be charged. I mean, the full charge. To have those 21 miles. You will get a note that tells you you do not have enough charge to drive it in purely electric mode, so you have to go back to hybrid driving. But well, after talking to you about that engine, continuing with good things, let's focus on the positive. As today's coaches say, those who do coaching, let's focus only on the positive. From the interior, something very beautiful is that this color is gorgeous. Of course, it is very clear. Some people will say, oh, how messy it is, but well, it's a material that I really like. Such a beige color itself is a nice combination for this Jeep. And inside it has, well, I'm going to show you the one-touch roof. The one-touch roof, which is another one of the things, let's say cleared. It's a Jeep that tries to evoke the history of the 41 itself. But for that, I have to turn it on. Look how hard it sounds when I turn it on. It doesn't sound at all. Why? Because it has its electrical component, but it has the sunroof with a single touch. You open it here, you don't have to. And I don't mind them applying cutting-edge technology, all these technologies, to something that evokes the past, that pays homage, tribute to the past. Not at all, but at the level of motorization, yes. I think they could have done something better in terms of presenting options. But look how beautiful this is. People really like this, don't they? I mean, less convertible work. How would you prefer it? If you're a true Jeep lover, answer me this question. I mean, do you prefer this one, for which you have to pay $4,000 more, right? I mean, let's be clear on this. The sunroof. This automatic one is a $4,000 option. But do you prefer the one you have to manually disassemble like the old days? Or do you embrace technology and would you like this one? Also, another good point and good comment about the interior. Since we are here, let's show nothing changes here. It's the same as a Jeep Wrangler Willys, the regular one, in terms of the dashboard with its digital display in the middle, its tachometer on the left, speedometer on the right. You have the new digital screen that all the Jeeps of 12.3 inches display. Also, with all the aids, you have the pages. Well, here you have the e-hybrid stuff, the hybrid mode, you have the history, all these things. In addition to pages for your aids for off-roading. You can activate the rear camera from here. The rear camera is back there, integrated into the spare tire. Look, another detail here above the transmission lever, we have the 41. Also, these are details that visually enrich this edition of Jeep Willys. This is almost the same as a Wrangler, with all its USB connectors, the blocker of the rear differential. Only fuel economy that I hadn't talked to you about? No, on purpose. I hadn't talked to you about fuel economy. I think I talked to you about the plug-in hybrid that is in electric mode. 21 miles only, and in gasoline mode only it would be 20 miles per gallon, the equivalent to miles per gallon in combination of the electric motors with the gasoline engine. 49 according to Jeep, but as for the upholstery, something that does come to mind is that, of course, with this color, as it looks very nice and all that. But whoever buys it, honestly, I don't think they're going to take it to get muddy, to get bogged down, because, well, there's a big risk that this will get incredibly dirty. The mats are in protective plastic, but I strongly recommend taking excellent care of the seats since they will be much more visible. Here in the back, well, this is where you put the fuel, the gasoline, and this is where you load it, right? So it gives you those 21 miles of purely electric driving. You have your full-size spare tire here in the back, and it comes integrated. The camera is integrated here. Here we have 4xe. Obviously, you have your charging cable. It's a space they give you to place that. And this is the cargo space itself. This is for putting the removable doors themselves. What else do you have over here? This is a 12-volt port, your connectors. This is the space you're going to have in your Jeep Wrangler. The seats, of course, you can fold down the rear seats, and there you can generate a bit more space. It's not total, I think it's not completely flat. It's not completely flat, it goes up to here. But, well, it expands a bit more. But the actual use of this particular vehicle and special edition and all, I don't see it as much for you to be thinking about a too versatile cargo space. All right, it's time to say goodbye. But first, the question, would you prefer this 1941 Jeep Willys to run on gasoline? Or would you buy it as a plug-in hybrid? The controversial question there, did Jeep make a mistake? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, check out 2 more I've picked, including a spectacular Jeep with serious power. Impressive? You're going to love it. Take a look, because it has been very popular, and the other one is also a very special video for you to take a look. I see you, and I'll wait for you in the next video. I send you a big hug. Bye.